Good evening and welcome to Live with Shawna at Shaw-Roco Solutions. I'm a real estate investor and I focus on helping Albertans become homeowners through our rent-to-own program. And tonight's one of my Ask the Expert nights. And I have Shelley Hagen with me. So please join me and welcome Shelley for being with us tonight. Shelley's with Ray Developments, Inc. And she's also a real estate investor, a trainer, and a mentor. Hi, Shelley.
Hey, Shawna. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you this evening. That's great. Hello to everybody who's online watching.
I know I like to talk, so it's like. I just wanted to start off tonight by saying I met Shelley at a Women in Wealth seminar back in November of 2016, I believe it was. And it was my first introduction to real estate investing. And funny enough, one of the first conversations Shelley and I had was about diamonds. So as soon as we had this conversation, I was like, yeah, I love this woman. And so right then, I knew it was going to be the beginning to a wonderful relationship and this new journey in my life. So I must say, after hearing Shelley's story that night, it made such a huge impression on me that it's played a big role, like a very significant role on where I am today. So thank you so much, Shelley. And that being said, Shelley, tell us your story and how you became a real estate investor.
Well, thanks, Shawna. I just very distinctly remember our conversation about diamonds, and diamonds are always a girl's best friend, right? And so we definitely have that interest in common. So I started my little adventure in real estate investing back in 2001. I used to work for the phone company back in Regina, Saskatchewan, and at the time they were doing a downsizing, offering a voluntary severance package. And I decided it was time for me to go and do something different with my life. And so I worked at the time with Carol McConaughey, who is one of my business partners. We've been business partners since 2001. She's one of my best friends. And we decided to, take a look at options that were available to us. And both of us had an interest in real estate investing. And we just didn't know how to get started. We didn't know what to do. So we decided to go out and look for some training, and we went out and found some education, helped ourselves along. We started building a network of people that could help us grow our business. And we started in Regina. We bought 48 units there, most of which were single-family homes. And then we ventured into the Gatineau, Quebec market, and we bought another 48 units there. So within the first year, we'd had about 96 units. And we've never really looked back from there. We bought properties in, I've owned commercial properties in Manitoba, properties in Saskatchewan, Alberta. Now I have interest in properties in BC, and I'm looking to do some land development there. I've also done investing down in Phoenix, Arizona for a long time, a little bit in Vegas, and I own some properties for a number of years in Detroit, Michigan as well. So I've done a wide variety of different things. As you mentioned, I do training, but I've also, been a mortgage broker. I help people get funding to this day, non-traditional kind of funding. I've been a hard money lender. I've done discount notes, commercial properties, land development, buy, fix, and sell. Just pretty much anything that comes in the door, I'll take a look at it. And you never know from one day to the next in this business what that is going to be. And that's what I find so exciting about this business, is there's always something new, and I'm always learning something new, because you can't possibly know everything there is to know about real estate investing. There's just too much to learn. And through my coaching business, I got to meet, Shawna and her husband, Bernie, and, who doesn't want to work with great people like Shawna and Bernie, who are just positive, outgoing, want to change life and help people. So I'm really passionate about helping other people to be successful in their life and try different things. And that's, kind of how we, kind of were led to each other. I think everything happens for a reason, and everybody comes into your life for a reason. And definitely that was the case with Shawna and Bernie.
Oh, thank you. That was so sweet of you. So I have a question with you, because your partner, your business partner is in the US right now. So yes. What are your thoughts investing in the US? Because that seems to come up a lot right now with other investors. A lot of them are going to the US.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've been investing in the US since 2003, Carol and I. We were down there before the market went crazy. Back in 2003, the market was priced right. There was good activity going on down there. We started in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, and then we moved into the Phoenix market. And we had done, a variety of different things when we were down there, wholesaling, fix and flip. Then we got into rentals and rent to own in the markets, mostly in the Phoenix market. We were there when the market went crazy. Within, 3 months, the market in the Phoenix area went up over $100,000, which is a real red flag when you're in real estate. Whenever you see that happen, something's going to happen behind it. It can't be sustainable to keep growing like that. And so, of course, then along came the global financial crisis in 2008 that really tanked the market there. And we started investing heavily then during those years when the market was down, 2008 to 2010. And we were able to pick up properties for a really good price at that particular point. Prices have gone up substantially. The markets that we were in were some of the ones that were the hardest hits, and they responded fairly quickly as a result. And so, at the time as well, when we were going down there, the dollar in Canadian dollar versus the US was at par. So we could take our Canadian dollars down and buy. Now you have a different situation. Now you got 20, 30 cents difference on the dollar. So yes, are there opportunities in the United States? Absolutely. I mean, there's 360 million people who live there. There's millions of properties. There's always opportunity. It doesn't matter what market you're in. But you really need to keep in mind a couple of things. First of all, what is the exchange in your dollar? Are you making enough money down there to make it worth your while to take your Canadian money down there and have it parked in a property? It's very difficult to get financing on a single family home. And so if you're going to be going, up market into commercial properties, a little bit easier, but the price points have gone up. The prices are not anywhere near what they were after the crash. The prices are in most markets back to where they were before the crash happened, in some cases even higher than what they were before. So you got to, work your numbers, make sure it makes sense, and find a good team, just like any other place. Doesn't matter if you're going to invest in, Winnipeg or Toronto or wherever. You need to have a good power team that can help you find those good deals, and you need to have things set up so that you have the right people working with you. Mm-hmm. And it's all about finding the deal. It's got to make sense. Got to make sense. Cash flow. Does it make sense for me with tying up my money for that long, and paying the extra exchange? And, and just picking a market. Some of the markets are pretty hot right now. And so it's a numbers game. You got to put in lots of offers before you get the right deal, but you're just going to be patient and just keep doing it. So there is opportunities.
Awesome.
If you have family down there, even better. Maybe you might want to centralize around an area where you have family living. Is that something that you're considering doing, Shawna?
I think down the road, it might be something we've talked about it, and we're just kind of like right now we're like, this might be actually something where we look at going down the road. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, we've really been focusing on Alberta and getting our feet wet and so on and so forth. And I like what you said with the numbers, because that's one thing that that can make or break you. You got to make sure the numbers work. And when I talk to people, I said it's very important to make sure the numbers work. You can't just play around and say, oh, well, if I do this or do this. It's like, no, they have to work for what they truly are. You can't play around and start fudging a few things, because you as you probably know, you can lose your shirt pretty quick if you don't do it right.
Well, exactly. And, that's a very good point too, because you are managing that from afar. Typically most people buy and they don't go live in, Dallas or Phoenix or wherever you're looking to buy, or you might go down there on a winter, vacation to get away for a couple of weeks from the winter. But during the rest of the year, someone has to maintain that. And the cost can add up real quick if you're not managing that well, and if you don't have the right management team to manage that property.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those things come into play. Keep those things in mind. It can be very lucrative. It can be very lucrative, just like here. You can go invest though in Canada as well and still make money as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
As you said, like you've invested in so many different strategies. Like, is there one strategy you prefer over another?
Well, that's always a good question. People ask me that all the time. So from a single family home perspective, I like the rent home program, which I know you and Bernie are also focused on doing too. I call it my worry-free rental program. I just find I tend to get better tenants in most cases in those situations. I also do fix and flip, but the market has to be right to do fix and flip. You just need to assess where you're at with the market and get it for the right price. On the, I do like commercial property, bigger properties, for if I'm going to hold for rental, I would prefer to get into something a little bit bigger, wherever possible.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I know, because Bernie and I talk about it all the time. It's like, so what should we do here and what should we do there? And because we go to a lot of, different groups and meet other investors. And this last go around, we met this one investor and he had like 38 single family houses in Calgary. And I was thinking, oh my God, that's a lot of work, because he self-manages them. And I'm like, I couldn't even begin to imagine that at that point. I'm like, I'd say to Bernie, because we live outside of the city, I said, I couldn't imagine every time you get a call or something goes wrong, then you got to deal with this, deal with that. And I said to him, if we're going to get, on that side of it, definitely we talked about the suited units, if we wanted to do the single family. But for us, I mean, we love the rent to own for so many reasons. I mean, my number one reason is I love, as you know, I like to help others. So it's so gratifying, and working through the process with your tenant buyers, and then they move into the house, and then they're just so thrilled, and they're just like, oh my God, we have our forever home. Like, thank you so much. And I love that good feeling.
Yes, it is a great feeling when you're helping people with rent to own. It's not the same with a tenant, because the tenant doesn't plan on living there forever, right? And they're not intending to buy it at some point in time. So it's a totally different energy when you're working with people as well.
Yeah.
And you can have some great tenants, that will be with you for a long period of time, and that are, really good people and keep the place really clean and tidy. But it's still a different kind of mentality, kind of how you set it up. So, and there's so many different things you can do in real estate investing. Some people have skills that allow them to get in and do fix and flip easier, and they can do some of the work themselves, or they have this.
That's where we want to get into. Well, Bernie wants to start doing some fix and flips next year.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And you guys have some of those skills and tradespeople because of the nature of what you've done in the past. And, that certainly lends itself really well. That's the whole thing with real estate investing or any business. It's just all about, drawing upon the skills you already have and enhancing those skills and using them in your new business from maybe just a different point of view than what you had before.
Yeah, exactly.
Fix and flips are a lot of fun because you get in and you get the whole creative outlet, pick the paint and the flooring and you see what it looks like, a sow's ear when you start out and a silk purse at the end. It's very gratifying, and it doesn't take that long usually to do them, 4 to 6 weeks on average. And so you're in and out and you see your end result real quick, and kind of, it makes you feel good going through it.
Yeah, I'd love to see the transformation process from start to end, because we've renovated like our houses before, and so it's always fun when you get that creative idea and let's do this and let's do that. But we were talking about it because Bernie had said to me, he's like, Shawna, got to remember, this is a business. We're not putting $1,000 granite countertops, so we had to laugh.
Gotta live in the house.
Yeah, I said to him, I said, that'll be probably one of my biggest challenges.
Well, it's everybody. I always say when I teach people about rehab, I always say, I guarantee you the very first one, you're going to spend too much money. Just guarantee it, because you're going to go in and you're going to do things that you wouldn't, shouldn't do, or that you are not going to make you any money. And you're going to, at the end, you're going to go, oh, I just wasted so much time doing this and effort, and I really didn't need to do it. It didn't make a big deal.
Yeah.
But it comes through time and experience, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what challenges do you see for new real estate investors that they're facing in today's market, if any at all?
Well, certainly, depending where you're at, if you're in Canada, some markets are very high priced. And some of the lending criteria has gotten much tougher than it had been, when I got started in this business. So it can have, some challenges for you getting going. But again, we do want to, work with other people wherever we can and bring in joint venture partners to help you grow your business, which, will help kind of offset some of those other factors going forward. So that's probably the biggest thing right now is price and financing. The financing is like the bane of my existence as a real estate investor. The banks will give you all kinds of money and then they don't want to give out money, and then they'll give all kinds of money and then they, hold back, and it's just the way it is.
Yes.
It goes in cycles, all the time. And we're going through one of those, changes right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like that too, because with this house we just did a few months ago there, it was like you sent off all the information, that the mortgage broker asked you, and you think we're good. And then she's like, oh no, now I need this. Oh, now I need this. Now I need this. And I was just like, oh my God, don't you have enough information already? Like it was just after another. And then it's like, oh, and proof of this and proof of that. And I'm like,
I know, exactly. And it's like,
so much back and forth.
Totally. And why didn't you just ask for it to begin with? And then now I have to keep going back umpteen times. And sure, the mortgage brokers are just crazy. I used to be a mortgage broker at one time, and that was when I got out of mortgage broking when the crash happened, because I was just too busy with my U.S. investing to spend enough time working with my clients on the mortgage side, and I wasn't doing as good a job as I needed to there. So it was time to move on. And I started to notice that trend already, that there was a lot more information being needed and a lot more details. And I was like, oh, it's a lot.
Yeah, I thought about it, when we first started getting into the investing. I was like, oh, this might be a route I want to go down, like being a mortgage broker. But then when I worked with my first mortgage broker, we went back and forth there. I was like, no, I'm good. I'll just be professionals. I have enough on my plate.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you.
So if you could give any advice, like what kind of advice would you give a new investor getting started today?
So that's a very good point. If you're just getting started and you're still working, the advice would be to really get focused and spend some time at it. You can do this with a couple hours a week to get things started, and you really need to be marketing, and to be networking, meeting as many people as you possibly can, which I'm sure, you can relate to people as well, Shawna, is getting that whole presence, right? People need to know who you are and to get out there. And you'll find the more people you meet, the more deals you're going to do and the more money you're going to make. And so you got to get started and you got to build a brand, so people know who you are, and to focus on a database of people who can come in as joint venture partners and help you, friends, family, and close business associates who can help you build your business, and you give them a good return on their investment. As a result of them helping you, you'll help them. Make it a mutually beneficial to everybody going forward.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Do you have anything else you want to add, or?
No, and at this particular point in time, I just say if you're thinking about doing it, then get in touch with Shawna or myself, and it can be a very, very rewarding business working with people. It's a people business. It's all about people who have problems and how can you help people with problems, and that's what we do. We provide solutions, and it can be a lot of fun, and you'll meet a lot of people, a lot of great people doing it. So just go for it. Try it.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Awesome. Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining me, Shelley. And for those of you watching the replay, if you have any questions or you want to know some information, you can PM me or you can put comments here and I can get back to you. Shelley's website is www.diraedevelopmentinc.com.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And for more information, you can go to Shaw-Roco as well as if you want to watch any of my other live videos, you can go to YouTube and type in Shaw-Roco or my name and my other videos will come up. So thank you once again, Shelley. I totally appreciate it.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you so much for inviting me to come on. And I'm just so pleased to see, how well you're doing with your business and these videos that you do, the Facebook Live, etc. And great information. Great information. So good job. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Have a great night. All right, bye for now.